crossing dimensions of time and space. Technology beyond comprehension. They are watching. They are waiting. They are already here.
I know what I saw is not from this earth. It is just amazing.
Deep in the heart of Texas, the small town of Stephenville is surrounded by wide open prairie, longhorn cattle, and big skies. On January 8th, 2008, local resident Steve Allen gets together with friends Mike Odom and Lance Jones to enjoy a clear, mild night.
It had been a very harsh, cold winter. And I talked to my friend Mike on the phone earlier, and he says, come on over and we'll build a little campfire outside and sit out and enjoy the sky. And being a pilot, I look up at the skies quite a bit.
Now that's strange. What the hell? Steve?
I was the one to first see it.
Now check that out.
I look towards the east and I see some lights coming at us at a very high rate of speed. Some very bright, intense lights. It looked like a magnesium flare. It's unlike anything that I had ever seen.
What in the hell?
Nobody wanted to say anything because we was at kind of awestruck on it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Being a pilot, first thing I thought of is what kind of airplane was it? I fly that area quite a bit and I'm familiar with how long it takes to get from point A to B. I estimated the speed to be in the several thousand miles an hour area. How something could move that fast and not even produce air noise going across the surface. No sound whatsoever.
The lights come to a near-dead stop over Stephenville.
I didn't know if it was a war of the worlds or what. And then the 7 lights reconfigured to a vertical shape. The light configuration in the rear was different. It had 7 lights in the rear, blinking at no particular time. They sat there for a moment or two, and then all of a sudden they burst into a flame.
You see anything like that?
I've never seen anything like that before in my life.
The flame looked like it was like a white, kind of a dirty oxygen flame, and then it just simply disappeared. It didn't streak off or anything, it just disappeared.
What the hell?
I had never witnessed anything like this. Lance Jones jumped in his car and took off. He was alarmed and scared. He didn't say goodbye, see you later, it's been real or anything. He just got the heck out of Dodge. Mike and I looked at each other and we said, what in the world happened? It just made no sense to me. We had to tell somebody. So we went into his house to tell his wife, Claudette, about what had happened.
Claudette?
Hey guys, you're back early.
These lights came up there. We were at the camp.
We saw them above the tree line. They took off.
Claudette's reaction at first was disbelief, and that's when she says, oh, you guys, I'm going to call Lance. And we invited her, go ahead and call Lance, you know, to verify our story. Why Lance has more credibility than Mike and I do, I don't know. before anything was said, I think Lance told Claudette, hurry up and run back outside, it's coming again.
All right. This better be good.
It came by closer than the original time and lower as well. This thing was up close and personal. It wasn't something streaking out across the universe. It was close to us. And then all of a sudden, 2 F-16s came by. Full afterburner, had the flames hanging out the back of the jets in pursuit of it. We live in the close proximity of 3 different Air Force bases. We never get any F-16s in the area at that altitude, much less in pursuit of another aircraft. It seemed like it was kind of keeping them at bay, like it could control its speed far greater than they could. We watched it go off into the east until it just went out of sight. I had never witnessed anything like this, not in the remote possibility of anything like this. Why would our military be chasing something of our own product? Obviously they wouldn't. So questions was what's it doing here? Why is it here and what do they want? Is it of danger to us? I had many questions that I needed answers for. I told Mike and Claudette when I left that night we're going to get to the bottom of it, but I had an urgency to go home. My first feelings was if it's the end of times, I'd like to be at home and protect my house and my wife and be with loved ones. I was still trying to process all we had seen and get it straight in my mind.
Hon? What's going on? What's up?
Me and the guys tonight, we saw some pretty strange lights in the sky. They were doing things I'd never seen anything do. A couple of jets went after them, but they couldn't catch them.
My wife could see that I was visibly shaken and knew I had actually seen something.
UFO?
I don't know.
She begged and pleaded with me to not tell anybody about it.
Honey, look, you can't go around talking about UFOs, okay?
What we saw was real, and I'm gonna find out exactly what it was.
Well...
She didn't want me to speak about it because she'd think people would think we was crazy. Of course, being a typical male, you gotta talk about it, you know, and do exactly what your wife tells you not to do. If I saw it by myself, I might have not said anything, but since there was 3 of us, I thought, well, I've got to talk about it, with the hopes that other people had seen it. I got probably 30 minutes of sleep that night. I didn't sleep very much at all, trying to figure out what had happened to us. My first phone call the next morning was to the airport here in Stephenville, Texas. I'm a pilot, and those guys at the airport, they know who I am. They know I may be a lot of things, but I'm not a liar and don't make things up. So they took interest to what I might have seen. They called Fort Worth Tower, where the radar is actually located at, to see if there was anything unusual in the area. They did try to find out and get me some answers, but they found none. That seems terribly strange to me. My next phone call was to the newspaper to see if they had anybody that might have witnessed it or reported it. When I told the reporter what I saw, she had not heard or seen anything of what we had seen. She found some credibility to my story, and that's when she decided she would take it and run with it. A lot of people saw what we saw. But quite a few people here don't like the limelight or be out in public. Didn't want their names mentioned. Several of them I persuaded to go ahead and come forward, you know, since, you know, hey, I'm here by myself, you guys help me out. And sure enough, one came to my aid, thank goodness.
On the evening of January 8th, 2008, on the outskirts of Stephenville, Texas, Steve Allen and a group of friends observed military jets chasing a bizarre configuration of lights. But are they the only witnesses to this strange event?
I called a newspaper here in town and I talked to the editor, and I told her the story, and she asked me if they could print an article, and I said, make sure you put my phone number in here just in case somebody else might have saw it, they can call me. I probably talked to at least 60 people the first day. I got all their names, their addresses, what they saw, when they saw it, tried to get as many details as I could. Also, I asked them, would you be willing to come forward?
Most are reluctant to go public, but local county constable Lee Roy Gaitan steps up.
I've been in law enforcement for going on 20 years now. I am a constable, and I'm elected by the people. I have a lot of credibility online here.
Say, Mom enjoyed her birthday?
Yeah, her face was huge on that.
It was my wife's birthday.
How was dinner?
I had bought a cake. We'd cooked for my wife.
Dad, what's that?
It was then when my boy pointed up to the sky, and he said, Dad, he said, look at those lights. I got a pair of binoculars and trying to get a better look of what it was that we were seeing. And I couldn't make anything out other than these bright, bluish, fluorescent-looking lights. During this whole time, I'm trying to watch them, and my boy's, you know, he's a 10-year-old, he's asking me questions. Dad, is that a flying saucer? What is that, Dad? You know, what are they doing? I know they're jets because I see them at the house all the time. I hear them.
What was that?
I just thought to myself, is it a part of an experiment? What is this? I mean, everything's happening so quickly, and I'm thinking to myself, 9 million things. Is it something out of this world? Is it military?
The local newspaper follows up on the story and contacts the Air Force.
They reported that they did not have any aircraft in the area and nothing was going on. I found it quite alarming. You know, I know what an F-16 looks like.
They flat out denied that they had military planes that night. And I knew for a fact that there was at least 2 that night because I saw them.
That obviously sends up a red flag to me. What are they trying to hide? I was in a quest for the truth. Whatever it took, whether it was to make a commotion with the media or the public or whatever, we was willing to do it.
Steve contacts the Mutual UFO Network, one of the oldest and largest UFO investigative organizations in the United States. MUFON sends Director of Research Robert Powell to Stephenville to investigate the case.
The first thing we tried to do is determine, was this an airplane? Was this someone with his running lights on? Was this a star? Which has nothing to do with whether we're talking about little green men or little gray guys. We're talking about an event, an unidentified flying object that no one knows what it is, but as a scientist, you must investigate it.
Within days, the investigation turns up 17 witnesses to corroborate Steve Allen's story.
Elected officials, other businessmen, law enforcement officers, a lot of different witnesses.
What really made Stephenville such a unique UFO event was that not only did you have 17 witnesses, you had witnesses who saw at different times over a 3.5-hour period and over varied locations. So this wasn't a case